County, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, will stand for the pledge, and then I'll give the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father, we ask today that you would guide our thoughts and our words. We ask that the thoughts of our hearts and the words of our mouths would be pleasing to you. We humbly come before you today, rejoicing that our Savior has risen. We would also like to ask you for rain, and we don't mean to be greedy, but we probably need quite a bit. So we thank you for that. We ask that you would guide us in our decisions today and bless the citizens of Finney County. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay. First item on our agenda is going to be the consent agenda. Does anybody have any changes or corrections? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I would so move that we approve the
You and
consent
your
agenda.
echo?
Okay, I moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I think Kevin's mic might need a little adjusting. We have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. And that motion carries. Next on our agenda is public comment, and I believe we do have a couple of people. Maybe we'll start with Trevor Hand.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Trevor Hands, and my wife Jenny and I are the co-founders of Red Dog Children's Museum here in Garden City. We started this venture almost 4 years ago because, like many families in Finney County, we were looking for more opportunities for our own child to learn, to explore, and to simply have a place designed for them. Over the past year, through our mobile museum, we've already served thousands of children and families across Southwest Kansas. What we're building now is a permanent space that continues to have impact right here in Finney County. I understand the county's position on funding 501c3s, so I'd like to focus less on what we are and more on what we do and how that aligns directly with the county's own goals. And I'd also note under KSA 19-101A, counties have broad authority to support initiatives that serve a public purpose. And what I'm sharing today is how Red Dog fits squarely within that definition. One of the challenges we hear again and again from families is this: when school is out, especially in the summer, childcare becomes a patchwork system. Half-day camps, constant drop-offs, shifting schedules. That's not just a family issue, it's a workforce issue. And so Red Dog is not a daycare, but we are working towards creating full day camp opportunities when school is out that provide consistency for working parents, safe, structured environments for kids, educational enrichment built into care, and this directly supports working families and helps remove a barrier that keeps people from fully participating in the workforce. At the same time, we're thinking long-term. The experiences that children have today shape the workforce we will have tomorrow. Red Dog is designed to introduce kids early and often to things like STEM concepts, agricultural science, problem solving and creativity, and more. Through hands-on exhibits, kids aren't learning just the facts, they're learning how to think, build, and explore. Excuse me. And in a region like ours, where agriculture, energy, healthcare, and skilled trades are essential, that early exposure matters. This is how you build a workforce pipeline, not at age 18, but at ages 5, 6, 7, and so on, by sparking curiosity and confidence early. If you look at community surveys and your own comprehensive plan, you'll see a consistent theme. Families want more to do, not just more, but meaningful, high-quality experiences. Red Dog provides hands-on interactive exhibits, learning through play aligned with Kansas education standards, and a space where families can connect and not just pass the time. Quality of life isn't a luxury, it's a retention strategy. If we want young families to stay and new families to choose Finney County, we have to give them reasons beyond employment. Garden City already serves as a regional hub. Through our mobile museum, we've seen firsthand that families are willing to travel from Oklahoma, Texas Panhandles, Colorado, New Mexico, Nebraska, and beyond. A children's museum gives those families a reason to stop, a reason to stay longer, and a reason to return. And that means more hotel nights, more restaurant traffic, and more local spending. This isn't just a community asset, it's an economic driver. And your comprehensive plan emphasizes strengthening family-friendly amenities, supporting workforce participation, enhancing regional attraction and livability. And Red Dog sits at an intersection of all three. We're not asking you to operate outside of your vision, we're actively working to help fulfill it. We understand that resources are limited, and we understand that you have to make careful decisions. But I would respectfully suggest this. If organizations are already being supported when they clearly serve public needs, then Red Dog deserves to be evaluated through that same lens. Because what we're building is not just a museum or a play place, it's a support system for working families, a quality of life investment, a long-term workforce development pipeline, and a driver of regional economic activity. We're committed to doing the work, we're committed to this community, and if you see value in what we're building, we'd welcome the opportunity to partner with you as an outside agency in making it possible. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Trevor. We appreciate what you do. Okay, now I believe we have Tammy Wilson, Big Brothers and Big Sisters.
I'm short. Okay. Good morning. I wanted to provide an update on our capacity building activities and to thank you for use of office space. We were very fortunate that the designated space for partner agencies was available when we needed it, and we were so grateful to be in close proximity to youth services because Big Brothers Big Sisters one-to-one mentoring program is a nationally known evidence-based top 10 blueprint program for delinquency prevention. In fact, after being matched for a year and a half with a big sister, we had a young lady who was referred by youth services who graduated early last semester with A's and B's, and she's enrolled at Garden City Community College for the fall. Anyway, back to this. Our packets that we handed out contain updates, information on our agency, and an important letter from our staff, if you want to look through there. Since our community meeting we called in November, we have been able to bring in almost $50,000 in additional funds. However, we still have a long way to go. Our major gift committee has met 3 times and is making contacts to set up meetings and develop marketing materials for this venture. We have added 3 board members, bringing our total to 7, including a former juvenile judge, attorney, and a CPA COO. We are currently working on adding 2 more. We've been in contact with Big Brothers Big Sisters of America for capacity building and board training. Currently, our board has completed a series of fundraising essentials online training. All board members completed this, and certificates are on file in our office. In addition, our board will complete online trainings through Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. We hope to have all of our board positions filled by the end of April. At that time, our board will participate in live Zoom training with our national office, including board member responsibilities, managing liability, program requirements and standards, building capacity, and policies and procedures. We have suspended making community-based matches due to the time requirement by our case managers. We are going to continue with our school-based program for now, which is in all the schools in Finney County. We will review that decision quarterly. Our temporary funding issues did not affect the quality or the quantity of services we provide. We are preparing for our summer program that serves over 100 youth, ages 5 to 13 at Victor Nellis Elementary School through June and July. We partner with the school district to provide a consistent program where children can access food for breakfast and lunch. All of our teachers are ready to return for the 3rd year, and it is our hope Finney Foundation can continue to fund this crucial program for youth in the summer. Our Young Women of Purpose program is also thriving. Their coordinator has been effective in leading this group and assisting them in creating and reaching goals, providing meaningful community service projects, and teaching life skills. I have personally met with Micah Bunch from the Chamber to discuss potential board candidates, board development, and possible funding contacts. Our board has met multiple times to develop plans and is being very thoughtful about our next steps. We submitted all local grants we usually apply for, and we are contacting previous and new donors looking for best practices to diversify our budget. We realize this will take some time, but we are actively working on this. We held our first fundraiser of the year, a run for St. Patrick's Day. At this event, we recruited 2 additional potential board members. Future fundraisers include a glow run in August, a historical tour in early November, and stewarding donors for match day throughout the year. In addition, we're working with representatives from Garden City High School to increase formal opportunities for students. Because our mentoring program offers high school students so many relevant job skills, they've included us in a leadership class they have plans to add for fall. This will ensure juniors and seniors who want to volunteer to be a big brother or big sister can participate during school hours and receive credit for it. This is beneficial for those students as well as the ones they are mentoring. If the high school's big volunteers continue their education at Garden City Community College, the matches have the potential to provide that consistent support for their littles for up to 4 years. The additional AFAC funding we received in December to expand high school mentoring programs provided the local support needed to leverage additional future outside funding from the TB Foundation. These efforts allowed us to serve 319 local youth ages 5 to 17 in 2025. We currently have 91 matches, 35 girls in our Young Women of Purpose after-school leadership and career development program, and are expecting over 100 youth for our summer program. I wanted to update you on our progress and request an extension of the use of our office space for another 6 to 12 months to allow us to continue to build our capacity for the future. The board and staff are committed to the children in our community and are diligently taking extra time to make this successful. Please feel free to contact me with any additional questions or concerns. Thank you again. Thank you.
Anyone else have public comment today? Hearing none, we'll close the public comment. On to new business, item 4A. We have Bob Wetmore here with Great Plains Development. Good morning.
Good morning.
I know I said your name, but you might announce.
My name is Bob Wetmore. I'm Executive Co-Director of Great Plains Development. I have another co-director. We found out we're the only 2 co-directors in the whole U.S. for these regional agencies, so know that it's kind of unique. Faye Trent is our co-director, and I think last fall you got to meet Hannah Sparks, our Associate Director. Hannah's been with us for about 6 years. The 3 of us have a staff that we work with. And let me pass out this little packet for you first, but know that we cover both municipal grants and small business loan development for the region. So we work closely with Lana and staff to help put that together. So let me pass this out.
You can just give those to Derek and he'll pass them down.
If you have leftovers, I'll take them. So as a kind of a recap real quickly about Great Plains, believe it or not, Great Plains started out way back in 1972. There was a group called Greater Southwest. There were about 6 planning commissions in this region out here, this corner of the state. And there was one over in Pratt called 9 Counties. There was one over here called Greater Southwest. And in 1987, they actually merged together and became Great Plains Development. It covers, and if you look in your little packet there, there's a map in the back, the 28 counties of Southwest Kansas. Our job is to be the best kept secret in Southwest Kansas. Not really, but it's really true. A lot of people say, who is Great Plains? And we didn't know you folks existed. Our job is to support local economic development, our local banks, local retail, local county commissions and city commissions to help find programs and match people up to be the grant writers if it comes to state grant writing. You've heard of CDBG block grants. That's us folks. We actually help put those programs together. You've heard of course, the U.S. Small Business Administration and their programs. We help package those and get those off to the right folks for packaging. But most importantly is we work with economic development, with Lana and staff. When they have needs and they need our services, we work side by side. In fact, in many ways, we're kind of attached at the hip sometimes, but that's because we get involved in these projects. And I've given you a little summary sheet on the second page there, and I have a great typo in there. I said we have 6 loan inquiries, 4 applications, and 3 or 2, you get to pick, new loan applications. Actually, I thought we had 3, and then when I dug into the numbers, there was 2 since last fall. Knowing that the last time we were here, we had a whole bunch. Within the last 6 months, we've actually had 2 applications that finished as far as loans. Excuse me. The weather is too nice, so now I'm having allergies. The other thing that we do is we work closely with communities. Typically, you hear us talk about community development block grants, and usually the county, we have too many people. Finney County just has numbers that are too high. Our low to moderate income levels really don't qualify for CDBG grants. There are opportunities at times, though, where we actually, Holcomb is a good example, where we actually might be able to find a project to work at the local level. Excuse me. And we haven't had a chance to tell Lana yet, but as of the end of last week, we have a Holcomb inquiry, which is really cool. So we'll get with you probably within the next couple of days to talk out loud about ways to help improve Holcomb. So we have a business leader who said, what is available out there? What kind of grants are there? What kind of programs are available? And it's one of those ones that went way off in the state and then came all the way back here. So we'll help with that. Also, know that we help with Network Kansas loans. You've heard of Network Kansas, the times we've spoken before. Lana and staff have e-community loans that are available at the local level. We might help package those, get them off to them. If we get a lead and it needs business planning help, that business planning help goes straight through Finney County Economic Development. So we actually help. If we get a lead, we punt it directly to them. If they get a lead and they develop that and they need loan packaging assistance, that's our job, is to bring up the rear and help with that. So we have a number of different programs. If you go back in the back of your packet there's a piece that folds out. It's quite large. There they all are. So we're the people that try to keep all these things in our head and help find different programs for different situations. So these are both loans and grants. That's our job. Over the years, probably, I think I could probably say that Finney County has been probably one of our closest counties that we work closely with as far as sheer number of projects. As we do loans, sometimes we have a big flurry and we have a whole bunch of loans, and then other times we have 2 or 3 at a time. We've actually had very consistent loan work over the last few years, and occasionally we have new loan opportunities that can come through Great Plains on that big list of funds. We do have our own funds internally that are available. And our membership for our board and our guidance as we go through this process is made up of members from the counties. You've been kind enough to appoint 2 members. Dwayne Dries is our vice president. Dwayne has kind of been your at-large appointment, and we appreciate that. And Mike Utes is our commission representative, and Mike has been fantastic since last year, over the last few months. Know that along with the work that we do, that we're talking about, we also work at the state level, helping with the Kansas Association of Regional Development Agencies, which I happen to be the president of, and poor Hannah is the secretary of. So the 2 of us kind of help promote that organization. Know that last October, we had a regional excellence initiative. We had folks invited in for our annual meeting. We also stuck them in a workshop that summer, or that afternoon last fall, and we actually came up with some ideas for projects out of the region to help Great Plains with its 5-year plan. Yes, we put together a 5-year plan for the U.S. Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration. There's a lot of letters in there, but we're an economic development district for them, which is where the map comes from, which is why there's 28 counties. As we put that 5-year plan together, those ideas are starting to coalesce and come together. We're putting a committee together this summer. We'll involve economic development directors, we'll involve education people, we'll involve county folks, we'll involve our board of directors, and we'll say, okay, here's all the ideas that we have for the region based on what all our economic development people are telling us are important projects. What should we put in a overall 5-year plan? The reason we do that is it helps give us direction, helps give our board direction as we go down the road and figure out what can we do to help create regional projects, what can we do to participate with other regions for larger regional projects, or even we're hoping over the next year, what can we do as a statewide group to help look down into regions and say, how can we as a statewide group focus on different regions and give assistance that we wouldn't normally be able to give? I think that kind of gives you a rundown of what we do and how we do it. Questions, thoughts, your membership appointments are important to us. Your contribution, your voluntary contribution every year, thank you, because I didn't say this, right? There's no funding from Topeka anymore. So we're kind of on our own at this point, and we actually are doing okay, which is good news. So we truly appreciate the voluntary memberships that all of our counties and cities help provide. In the case of Finney County and Garden City, you share. We have it's based on 34 cents per capita, which is and we put a maximum of 10,200 on that total county amount. The city shares half. I'll be seeing the city tomorrow, and the county has always shared half, and we truly appreciate that. So enough talking for me. Thoughts, questions?
A couple of things from me, Bob.
Sure.
I want to thank you for what you do, and I'm very familiar with what you do, having been on the board with Finney County Economic Development
I knew that.
for a number of years. I think it is a very important program, and especially as we step into the future and with the uncertainties that we have, I'm glad to hear that you're still doing well. But I'd like to know if Lana, do you have any comments or input?
Lana DeWall, President, Finney County Economic Development. Everything he said is true. We are very fortunate to have them. As you all know, they've gone through some rough patches over there with the funding changes that have taken place over the last decade, but they've come out of it, I would say, stronger than ever. And Bob and Faye do a tremendous job of helping us with projects. We have looked in the past when it looked like they may not make it as an organization. We did consider what would happen if we had to take that servicing and packaging of loans in-house. And I can tell you, you're saving money by having the services of Great Plains. It really is a great benefit. And certainly we're thrilled to have their services, but when I consider the smaller communities and counties around us, they would absolutely suffer if they didn't have availability of those tools. Without professional development staff, it is very challenging to keep up with all of those loan programs. So we fully support their efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your input. One other thing, Bob, I would just like to thank you for this. You know, as I was reading through the agenda, I thought, man, I'd like to have all that information.
The other, and you can throw away last year's, and that's new information. As we develop this 5-year plan, the really cool thing is we work closely with KU and K-State. We have members at the state level in our state organization. K-State pulls current data for us. KU not only pulls current data, but they do the statistical abstract for the legislature. they give us current data that they give the congressman, so we actually can use that to put together these plans. Or if we, as Lana said, and thank you, Lana, for the kind words, if we go into a small town or a small county, it's like, yay, we've got all this information that normally we wouldn't have access to. So K-State and KU have been great putting that together. So the answer is, if you need anything, all you have to do is tell us. We have a portal that we can link you up to where you can access that information directly, live, fresh.
That would be,
So we can do that for you.
email that out to maybe send it to Derek and he could,
We'll send that link off to Lana,
okay, perfect.
okay?
That'd be great. Thank you so much. Does anybody else have comments or questions for Bob?
Serving on the board, I can attest that Bob and his staff do great things for not only Finney County, but southwestern Kansas. As Commissioner Schultz always said, we're open for business, and the partnership we have with Great Plains is exceptional, and I would encourage us to continue that partnership.
Excellent. Any other comments? Looks like we need a motion.
Yeah, you'll need a motion to approve the continuing of the membership.
I will. Thank you, Commissioner Schultz. Madam Chair, I would move that the Board of County Commissioners continue membership with Great Plains Development, Inc. for 2026 and authorize the chair to sign the membership agreement.
Very good. We have a motion, a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And that motion carries. Thanks again, Bob.
You're welcome, and I do have an agreement form. There's 2 copies, so you don't have to make a photocopy. You can sign both. And I have an invoice for the clerk.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Next item on the agenda, 4B, is Abigail, it looks like.
Good morning. Abigail Drummer,
Morning.
Planning Technician. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve the adoption of Resolution 12-2026 to rezone the property generally located at 3510 West Plymouth Road. The applicant, Donald Huber, is requesting to rezone approximately 13.59 acres of the property generally located at 3510 West Plymouth Road from A Agricultural District to RR Rural Residential District. The property is currently undergoing the plat approval process. There is currently a single-family home on the property, and the owner is requesting to rezone the property to construct 2 large accessory structures for the storage of equipment and keeping of livestock. The plat cannot be approved by the Board of County Commissioners until the property is rezoned. The Finney County Future Land Use Map designates this area as agricultural. However, the A Agricultural District requires a minimum lot size of 40 acres, so a residential zoning district is more appropriate. During the plat review process, the applicant was notified that the property must be rezoned before the plat can be approved by the Board of County Commissioners. The proposed RR zoning district would allow for residential accessory structures on the property, as well as the keeping and care of livestock. The Board of County Commissioners may make its findings in accordance with the criteria outlined in Section 27.040 of the Finney County zoning regulations, and below is a list of that criteria. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the rezoning request on March 19th, 2026, and those meeting minutes are attached. There are 3 alternatives before you today. 1, the Board of County Commissioners may adopt the Planning Commission's recommendation by adopting Resolution 12-2026. 2, the Board of County Commissioners may override the Planning Commission's recommendation by a 2/3 majority vote. And 3, the Board of County Commissioners may return the recommendation to the Planning Commission with a statement specifying the basis for the governing body's failure to approve or disapprove. And staff recommends alternative 1 to adopt the Planning Commission's recommendation by adopting Resolution 12-2026. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. And any questions for Abigail?
Abigail, refresh my memory. RR, is there a limit on number of livestock?
I believe it depends on the type of livestock, but it goes off of per fenced acre. So he's wanting to do mini Highland cows in this structure. So I believe it'd be 2 per fenced acre.
Abigail, is the applicant or a representative here today?
I believe Bert West is here, the surveyor.
Okay. Bert, do you have any comments for us?
No, he just, yeah, no.
Forward? Okay. Any other comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I would so move that we accept alternative 1. The Board of County Commissioners may adopt the Planning Commission's recommendation by adopting Resolution 12-2026.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. And that motion carries.
Thank you.
Abigail, looks like you have another one.
Yep, just one more. Abigail Drummer, Planning Technician. The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve the parcel plat of Lazy H Acres. Bert West with Pro Stake Surveying, on behalf of the property owners, Donald and Lindsay Huber, is requesting approval of the parcel plat for Lazy H Acres, generally located at 3510 West Plymouth Road, Finney County, Kansas. The property is zoned A Agricultural District. The plat contains one lot and is approximately 13.59 acres. There is currently a single-family home on the property, and the owner is requesting to plat the property to set the boundaries and to construct 2 large accessory structures for the storage of equipment and the keeping of livestock. The second submittal of the parcel plat was presented for review on March 13th, 2026, and was found to meet the minimum requirements of the zoning and subdivision regulations. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the parcel plat on February 19th, 2026, and those meeting minutes are attached. There are 2 alternatives before you today. 1, the Board of County Commissioners may approve the parcel plat of Lazy H Acres, and 2, the Board of County Commissioners may not approve the parcel plat of Lazy H Acres. And staff recommends alternative 1, approval of the parcel plat of Lazy H Acres. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Bert, any comments on this?
No, pretty straightforward.
All right. Any comments or questions?
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
do we have a development agreement as to what we're gonna do on this new plat?
Good morning, Mackenzie Phillips, Development Administrative Coordinator. For parcel plots, we don't require a development agreement. They don't have any infrastructure. They're just splitting off land typically. It's usually anything less than 4 lots, so it's up to 3 lots that they can split off. So since there is no infrastructure, and this is just a single lot, we don't require a development agreement.
Do we have a policy on 3 lots, 4 lots, as to whether we have a development agreement or not?
Yes, there's some standards within the subdivision regulations that we follow. So this one, like I said, does not have any infrastructure. They're dedicating some right of way, and that's the only reason why it had to go before the Board of County Commissioners.
All right, thank you. Any other questions?
No.
Anyone else?
I would like to move that we approve alternative 1. The Board of County Commissioners may approve the parcel plat of Lazy H Acres.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. And that motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Mackenzie.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. Mackenzie Phillips, Development Administrative Coordinator. This morning before you, the Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve the final plat of the Spear Acres addition. Caw Valley, on behalf of the property owner, Garrett Spear, is requesting approval of the final plat for the Spear Acres addition. The site is generally located at 2295 South Old Highway 83 and is currently zoned RR Rural Residential and RI Rural Industrial District. The property contains a home to the northeast and various garages and storage facilities south of the home. The Spear Acres addition contains approximately 49.1 acres of the total acreage. Approximately 24.06 acres are proposed for single-family residential development, which are lots 1 through 4 of Block A and lots 7 through 10 of Block B. While the remaining lots contain the existing property owner's home, garage, and storage facilities, which is lots 1 through 6 of Block B. The proposed residential development will have 8 lots ranging in size from 2.95 acres to 3.06 acres. These lots will be accessed from Old Highway 83 through a private road. All of the road, alley, and drainage infrastructure will be private and maintained by either the individual property owners or the homeowners association. Each residential lot will have individual wells and on-site wastewater collection systems. Any property less than 5 acres is required to install an advanced treatment unit, also referenced as an ATU, on-site wastewater system. The property owner has created a set of covenants, conditions, and restrictions that will run with the land and be enforced by the homeowners association. The covenants address that all private road, alley, and drainage infrastructure will be maintained by either the individual property owners or the homeowners association. These covenants have been reviewed by the county councilor. If the final plat is approved, the covenants will be recorded with the Register of Deeds. A review of the seventh submittal of the plat was performed on December 12th of 2025, and the final plat was found to meet the minimum requirements of the zoning and subdivision regulations. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the final plat at its meeting on October 16th of 2025, and those meeting minutes are attached. There are 2 alternatives before you this morning. First, the Board of County Commissioners may approve the final plat of the Spear Acres addition, or 2, the Board of County Commissioners may not approve the final plat of the Spear Acres addition. And staff recommends alternative 1, approval of the final plat of the Spear Acres addition.
Thank you. I should have mentioned this before. Commissioner Schultz, are you recusing on this one?
I am.
Okay, we may need to have you step out of the room then, if you would. Are there any questions? Yes, sir.
Mackenzie, the home, I'm vaguely familiar with the area, but the southern home, it's not identified. Is it replatted to the one that 2395? Is that? I'm just looking at the aerial photo.
That home is not part of this plat.
Okay, so that whole little area is not in the plat.
Correct.
Just a question.
Okay, does anybody else have anything? I have a couple of thoughts. There was kind of a small committee discussion with myself, Derek, and Mackenzie, and Lana Duvall. And we discussed that in the county, we don't have apparently development agreements for something like this. Is that correct? Or do we not require it?
Typically, like I had mentioned with the parcel plat, when there's not infrastructure that's being built or dedicated, we don't typically require a development agreement. There's no public infrastructure that's going to be maintained later on by the county or installed by the developer. So those are the major reasons that we usually have a development agreement in place, is to make sure that those outlines what the developer is responsible for, what the county is responsible for, and to make sure that that work gets done in a good workmanlike manner.
Well, a couple of thoughts. I happen to live in an area where there is an HOA, And I know that there have been issues that are not solvable by the HOA. And I just feel like it would be unwise for us to not make sure that we're covered. One, these HOAs can dissolve, they can change, you know, without notification or any response or request on our part. And, you know, as we know, people move, ownership changes, things like that. I just think it would be wise for us to put into place something that's called a SIRA, which I forget what that stands for, Subdivision Improvement and Responsibility Agreement. And it's not going to put any additional requirements on the developer, I don't believe, other than just putting into the record for the protection of the county that they will continue to maintain their infrastructure. Covenants are private agreements, they're not government protection. County responsibilities arise from police power and not contracts. The courts focus on regulatory responsibility and not private agreements. Covenants do not eliminate county exposure, and I believe that the SIRA provides necessary public sector protection. So it would be my opinion that even if it's belt and suspenders, that it would be wise for us to approve the final plat at the recommendation of the Planning Commission, contingent on the developer signing a SIRA agreement. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Or does Mackenzie?
Madam Chair, I do have one comment that I would like to make. So one piece that we made sure on this plat that we've run into on plats in the past where they haven't clearly identified if the alleys or the roads or any of the infrastructure is being dedicated for public use or is it, if it's private. And if it is private, it needs to specifically say that it's to be maintained either by the homeowners association or the individual property owners. So we did have them specifically put a note on there that identifies that it's either the individual property owners or an HOA, whichever one is in place at the time, that it is their responsibility to maintain that infrastructure.
And that note is where?
It's within the notes section, the surveyor's note on the first page of the plat. And I believe it is comment 9 that says all drainage, road, and alley infrastructure within easements will be owned and maintained by the lot owners or an HOA.
Any thoughts or comments?
I just know living in HOA, things change. When ours was developed, where I live, ultimately it was private roads, then got reverted over to the county, and roads were made, and the county had to update. So I would like to hear from Derek and or our county counselor their thoughts on this SIRA as well.
And I'm really not sure what happened within your subdevelopment as far as the road started off as private and then they eventually got taken over by the county, but that would have to take some action by the Board of County Commissioners in order to take over those roads and change course on that, which the same thing would apply to this one. I mean, we were very careful on this one to make sure that we, because there have been issues with whether it be alleyways, where it's unclear who has the responsibility of doing it. There are roadways that it's been with a wink and a nod that I guess we did or didn't take care of, whether they were county property or they were not county property. So I know that within this one, we were very careful to make sure, because there was no public infrastructure whatsoever, we were very careful to make sure that it's within the plat, it's within the covenants, it's very clear everywhere that you could look, whether you were buying the home or if you were the developer on this one, that the county's gonna have no responsibility. In order for that to change, they are gonna have to come back to the board to do something with that. The reason that this one is going through as private infrastructure rather than public, my understanding is that they weren't able to obtain enough right-of-way to make the road conform to county standards in order. So if the county ever did take this one over, they're taking it over either as non-conforming to what our standards are, or it means that they've been able to obtain what they need to make the road wide enough to fit the county standards at that point in time.
And from my standpoint, I look at it, going forward, I want a uniform practice for all subdivisions coming into the county. So if the Board of County Commissioners feels that this is an extra layer of protection that helps us become more unified and standard in our practice, there's no problem for putting in a CIRA in. So.
Yeah, it would be my suggestion too, that we do implement it as practice.
So are you saying implement it as practice beginning with this one or after this one? After this request?
I think the problem right now is that this hasn't been the practice of the county, so we didn't put any of that in place for this one. And I think it's been a topic of discussion and not holding up these developments in the past because of new things that we're doing in the middle of these. If I have no problem if the board wants it to be an extra layer of protection. I don't know if you want to go backwards on this one and make it something that were an additional requirement that we hadn't required before, or if you want it to be here going forward. But that, of course, is the board's decision on this one.
It's a little late, once the plan started, I don't think you should impose more, say, oh, we thought about this too. I think you do it going forward would be fine, but as far as this specific one, I think we need to stay with what we have.
I don't think this is going to require anything additionally from the developer other than just that we have a document that states what he has already stated he's going to do, and it protects us. I'm not in favor of asking him to do anything additionally. I think he's done everything that we've asked, but I simply think that a document protecting us and not simply the homeowners would be a good idea. And I think going forward, it should be something in place for all residential development in the county.
I think I understand what Commissioner Jones is saying. If I understand you correctly, is that we didn't have this in the process, and now we're adding another layer. So we're saying, okay, we're going to approve this, but you need to sign this. Well, if he doesn't want to sign it, I think there could be some ramifications because we didn't have it in the process. I think if we want to move forward, we should consider approving what we have and then adopting this in the future for any future developments. Did I understand that?
That's be my suggestion.
Do we have a representative or the applicant here today?
No, we do not.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion to approve alternative one. The Board of County Commissioners may approve the final plat of Spear Acres Edition.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Well, other discussion, I think if I'm willing to approve the motion, but I think that if it's the will of the board to implement this agreement, that we implement it, have legal and county administrator McKenzie look at it and fine tune it, and any future ones adopted in those.
Very good. Did somebody second?
I did.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Well, as far as that goes, but something to think about is how far you would like that implemented on any of these different ones.
Thank you. Okay.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. My name's Trista Joyce, County Treasurer. So the Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve the adoption of Resolution 11-2026, which authorizes Finney County to refrain from making change, including pennies, when such coinage is not readily available. The U.S. Mint ceased production of new pennies for general circulation in November of 2025. While legislation has been proposed nationally to address the rounding of cash transactions, no bill has yet been passed which would provide guidance in the event that pennies are unavailable. The Kansas legislature has not passed any legislation that addresses the rounding of cash transactions. Payments collected by Finney County, including tax payments and motor vehicle registrations, cannot be rounded down without legislative action. Finney County was notified that pennies may not be available from Commerce Bank in March of 2026. While Finney County offices still accept pennies for payments, we are no longer able to guarantee that sufficient coins will be available to make exact change in every circumstance. Exact change will continue to be provided by Finney County as often as possible. Resolution 11-2026 states that if exact change is not available, staff will round the transaction up to the next available denomination, which would be nickels in this case. The difference will be deposited to the general fund. Notice will be posted in offices where payments may be affected. Only cash transactions where change is required will be affected by this new procedure. Payments may be made by check, credit or debit card, electronic check, or exact cash without impact. The alternatives before you are, the Board of County Commissioners may adopt Resolution 11-2026 as presented. The Board of County Commissioners may adopt that information.
You still want to vote no, or do you have? And do you think that the verbiage needs to change, or what's the?
No, the policy's wrong. We're government, we can do things right. To the penny.
Okay, very good. And duly noted, thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Thank you very much, that motion carries.
Thank you.
Next, we have Clay Billings for laptop rotation.
Good morning, Chair and Commission.
Good morning.
The Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve the quote from Imagine IT in the amount of $126,994.83 to complete the 2026 yearly laptop rotation. In the 2024, the Information Technology IT Department started utilizing a laptop replacement rotation that would replace laptops every 5 years. The first year rotation of laptops was ordered in late December of 2024. The second laptop rotation was ordered in October of 2025. The ordering process was moved up this year due to the current market. There has been a heavy demand for computer components due to the rise in popularity of artificial intelligence. The models of laptops the Finney County IT Department chose for this laptop rotation is the Lenovo ThinkPad T16 and the Lenovo ThinkPad X9-15, along with the Lenovo docking stations. The total number of laptops that will be ordered this year is 61. The table below indicates all computers getting replaced this year/phase for each department. Imagine IT assisted with the selection of all the models in this order, but the actual ordering and setup of the machines falls outside their scope of their contracted services to the county. On March 10th, a request for proposal RFP was sent out to vendors, posted to the Finney County website, and advertised in the Garden City Telegram. We received 7 responses from 7 companies. Blue Alley in the amount of $134,105.50, CDWG of $131,078.01, Hypertech in $129,273.26, Imagine IT in $126,994.83, Intelop $144,755, Nextech $188,280.33, RTI $143,551.41. The alternatives, the Board of County Commissioners may approve the proposal from Imagine IT in the amount of $126,994.83. The Board of County Commissioners may approve the proposal from another company, or the Board of County Commissioners may deny all proposals and provide staff with further direction. Staff recommends alternative one, the Board of County Commissioners approve the proposal from Imagine IT in the amount of $126,994.83. The fiscal impact, this is an already budgeted item that will come out of 001-195620 in the 2026 IT budget. Any questions?
Thank you, Clay. I don't know about the rest of the commission, but I got lost in all the technical specs of all of that. So I trust your judgment on that. My question to you is whether not only was this the best bid, is it sufficient? Is it exactly what you need, or is there a better product that's simply more money?
No, we worked with Imagine to scope them to there's a couple, the two different models are for like the baseline, and then for the ones that need a little bit more power, do a little bit more, that's the X9.
Okay,
And so that's why we have the two different models.
okay,
So
very good. Thank you so much.
What do you do with the old ones?
Going forward, we will look to do some in the auction. Otherwise, for the ones that are old enough, we have a recycling company. We pull the hard drives or wipe them, and then we recycle them. That way, we're not just throwing them away in the landfill.
Yes, Commissioner Utes.
Clay, first of all, I appreciate the 5-year rotation. I'm glad to see a plan like that implemented here, long overdue. Second thing is obviously bulk purchasing is a better way to get better pricing. How many other county departments do their own bidding on computers outside of what you've listed here?
To my knowledge, the sheriff's office and the attorney's office.
And if you were bidding their computers, you think we would get better pricing as well?
I would hope we would, yeah, because it would be significantly more.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Schultz.
I just want to compliment your work on presenting this to the Board of County Commissioners with 7, 8 different bids. That shows a diversity of opportunity, and that also when you look at the pricing, your efforts saved us perhaps in excess of $50,000 of this purchase price. And I think your efforts should be applauded, and keep up the hard work of bringing competitive bidding to the county on this major purchase.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else? We have a motion.
I would like to move that we accept alternative one. Board of County Commissioners may approve the proposal from Imagine IT in the amount of $126,994.83.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. And that motion carries.
Thank you.
Clay. Next, we have Dory on the clerk's office closure.
Good morning, Commissioners. So the Board of County Commissioners is asked to approve the closing of the Finney County Clerk's Office on April 29th and 30th, 2026. This will allow staff to attend the 2026 Annual Conference of the Kansas County Clerks and Election Officials Association. The Kansas County Clerks and Election Officials Association, or KCC EOA, comprises 109 members, including 105 county clerks and 4 election commissioners, and holds its annual educational conference. This year, as the current president of the KCC EOA, I selected Garden City, Finney County, as the host for the 2026 conference. The conference will begin with a meet and greet on Tuesday, April 28th, and concludes on Friday morning, May 1st, where we'll do annual scholarship awards. The educational sessions are scheduled for Wednesday and Thursday. Day 1 consists of clerk-related education, and Day 2 is dedicated to election training, facilitated by the Kansas Secretary of State Election Division. Historically, the Finney County Clerk's Office sends 1 to 2 staff members in addition to the county clerk to attend the annual event. Because the conference is being hosted locally this year, I would like to provide all Clerk's Office staff the opportunity to attend the educational sessions on Wednesday, April 29th, and Thursday, April 30th, 2026. KSA 192601 provides that county offices are to remain open on the days and during the hours fixed by the Board of County Commissioners. The county clerk's office is normally open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, excluding the holidays that are approved by the board. Approval of this request would allow the office to close during 2 regular business days so that staff may participate in this professional development and election training. Your alternatives today are that the Board of County Commissioners may approve the closure of the Finney County Clerk's office on April 29th and 30th, 2026, or the Board of County Commissioners may deny the closure of the Finney County Clerk's office on April 29th and 30th, 2026. I would recommend that you approve alternative 1, which is to close the office on April 29th and 30th, 2026. The training opportunity will directly benefit the public by strengthening staff knowledge in county clerk operations, election administration, and current procedures and requirements. Hosting the conference in Finney County gives our office a unique opportunity to maximize participation while minimizing travel and lodging costs typically associated with this event. For these reasons, I respectfully request approval from the Board of County Commissioners to close the clerk's office on April 29th and 30th so that all clerk's office staff may attend the KCC EOA Educational Conference. Fiscal impact, having all my staff there, would be about $600 for 2 days of training, which includes 3 additional staff members, and then the conference meals that are provided during the event. So training of this nature does align with the Board of County Commissioners' goal of investing in Finney County employees, as stated in the governance model for 2026. If you have any questions, I'll be happy
Thank you,
to.
Dory. Is this the first time we've hosted in Garden City?
To my knowledge, yes.
That's what I was thinking, and now we have such a fabulous facility. It's going to be a wonderful opportunity to show off
We do.
our community.
The timing was perfect, so I was very happy that the refinery became available.
Yes,
So we're looking forward to it.
yes, absolutely. Any comments?
Lori, how many attendees you think will be here?
We're planning on about 250 total. That would include staff from 109 different offices throughout the state, and then also vendors and speakers, trainers, so.
I'm glad to see that you guys select Southwest Kansas instead of Overland Park.
Well, I do. Yeah, it's very important for me, so, and I think that Finney County has grown so much since a lot of those people have been here. I think that.
I'm sure hopefully they can find it on their GPS.
Might run into Kara's propane tank, but they'll be here.
I don't have any questions. I just have a comment as a former elected department head and very rarely finding trainings that would be in Garden City where you could send a lot of your staff to. You always had to pick and choose maybe 1 or 2 people from your department because of the distance, the cost of hotels and meals and all that kind of stuff. So I, for one, am really excited about the opportunity of this coming here and that your entire staff is able to go, even though it's going to cause the closure of your office for 2 days. I think that the long-term benefit of training to your staff and the entire staff being able to go to training, because normally it's a few each year that get to go, and then you have a lot of them that don't get to go to training on a regular basis. And sometimes there's a little bit of maybe some hard feelings about why does that person get to go and I never get to go. And this time, you know, all of your staff will be able to go. And I just think it's a wonderful thing that Garden City is hosting training that's normally in the middle of the state or the eastern part of the state. So
With that, would you like to make a motion?
I would like to make a motion that we approve alternative 1 where her office is closed on those 2 days so that her staff can attend the training.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any other discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
In all the woodwork of this presentation to us today, I'd like to point out that our clerk, Doreen Munyon, is president of the Kansas County Clerks Association, and I congratulate you on your presidency and your leadership, and I would like to make sure that some people in Garden City understand that you are bringing literally hundreds of people to our town for them to spend 2 days and showcase our community. And thank you for your efforts in this regard and your leadership. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
You know,
Job.
I would like to jump on your comment, even though we have a motion, but I'm on a couple boards myself, and every one of them make very positive comments about working with our clerk's office.
Well, thank you.
I think Jerry said it, but I'm also going to say it. We appreciate and thank you for what you and your staff does for this community.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate that.
Anything else? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And that carries resoundingly.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it, Dora. Dory.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners.
Good morning. Looks like you're up now.
So the Board of County Commissioners is asked to consider and approve the amendment to the K-156 Corridor Master Plan. The existing K-156 Corridor Master Plan Agreement was originally executed on September 15th, 1999, between KDOT, Finney County, and the City of Garden City. The purpose of the agreement was to establish access management standards, transportation planning expectations, and future roadway configurations along the K-156 corridor from Campus Drive East to 16 Mile Road. In June 2025, the City of Garden City and Finney County jointly requested that KDOT work with both governing bodies to update the K-156 Master Plan Agreement due to expansion of the city's corporate limits, anticipated urban growth, and the need to extend the urbanized portion of the corridor further northeast. The proposed amendment would revise the existing corridor standards between the reconfigured Mary Street, Jenny Barker Road intersection and the existing Antelope Hills subdivision entrance at Golden Crest Drive. The amendment would also preserve the Super 2 roadway designation from Golden Crest Drive east to 16 Mile Road. Under the proposed amendment, the segment between the Jenny Barker Road intersection and Golden Crest Drive would allow for 2 future access points serving both sides of the roadway, continued access at Golden Crest Drive, and a future access point on the south side of the roadway opposite Golden Crest Drive. The exact location of future access points would remain subject to KDOT access management policies, roadway design standards, and corridor limitations established in the amendment. The proposed amendment has been under review by KDOT legal staff since early 2026. On February 10th, 2026, KDOT provided revised amendment language and signature blocks for execution by Finney County, the City of Garden City, and KDOT. Wilson and Company, serving as the consulting engineer for the project, confirmed that the amendment language had been coordinated with KDOT and the previous maps and exhibits remain applicable for consideration by the governing bodies. The proposed amendment is intended to support future growth, preserve transportation mobility, and provide additional access opportunities while maintaining KDOT oversight over corridor management. The amendment aligns with Finney County's governance goals to plan and invest in Finney County's future, modernize infrastructure and facilities, improve highway access, and improve relations with coordination with intergovernmental and regional partners. So there are 3 alternatives for the governing body to choose from. Alternative number 1, the Board of County Commissioners may approve the amendment to the K-156 Corridor Master Plan Agreement and authorize the chair to sign the agreement subject to the City of Garden City and KDOT approval. And 2, the Board of County Commissioners may deny the amendment to K-156 Corridor Master Plan Agreement and maintain the existing 1999 corridor access standards. And 3, the Board of County Commissioners may give staff further direction regarding the proposed amendment, access locations, roadway configuration, or coordination with KDOT and the City of Garden City. It is staff's recommendation to approve alternative number 1, approval amendment of the K-156 Corridor Master Plan Agreement, which the proposed amendment preserves KDOT's oversight of access management while creating additional flexibility for future growth and development along the corridor. The amendment also supports long-term transportation planning efforts and strengthens coordination between Finney County, the City of Garden City, and KDOT. There is no direct fiscal impact associated with approval of the amendment at this time. Future roadway improvements, access modifications, or corridor improvements will be evaluated and funded separately as development occurs and future capital needs are identified. And the City of Garden City will take this up at their regular scheduled meeting tomorrow. And I'm happy to answer any questions, and I also have Director of Public Works and Utilities, Mike Muirhead, to help me answer any questions.
Very good. Mike, do you have any comments?
No, Madam Chair. The agreement will be in front of the governing body tomorrow, and we fully expect them to approve it if you guys do today.
Very good. Thanks, Mike. Any comments, questions?
I would move that we accept alternative one. The Board of County Commissioners may approve the amendment to the K-156 Corridor Master Plan Agreement, authorize the chair to sign the agreement subject to City of Garden City and KDOT approval.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And that motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. I think, are you still on for a staff report?
Yes. So I would like to give the commissioners an update at this time to negotiations with the Construction Manager at Risk project. We are continuing negotiations, and they're going well with McCown Gordon, and I will bring a formal agreement to the next commission meeting on April 20th.
Thank you.
And that is all I have to report.
Okay. And meetings of note, I didn't see anything unusual. Gabby, is there anything we should be aware of from your perspective?
Nothing new besides what's on there.
Okay. Very good. And I think we do have need for an executive session, but prior to that, maybe we'll go ahead with our commissioner reports. So, I always start at a different place. I'm going to start this time perhaps with Commissioner Schultz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Compass continues to flourish in our community as a CCHBC, and the legislature tried to really mess with a system of payment for Compass, and like a lot of things in the legislature, we're so glad that they've adjourned and are back for a veto session only. That bill failed, and once again, without Western Kansas leadership, Compass would have been tremendously impacted by the defunding of mental health services here in Southwest Kansas. So to Lisa and the other board members on Compass's board, keep up the hard work. Don't let your guard down when the veto session occurs. I want to take a moment to congratulate and acknowledge the Southwest Kansas Community Concerts Board of Directors for once again a very fine presentation of Broadway-style music and enrichment of our lives here in Southwest Kansas. To Julie Mason, Dolores Courier, Verlene Coons, Joyce Lauber, Ray Navarro, David Van Pelt, and my friend Kirk Alleman, former Vice President, Trust Officer with Commerce Bank. These people work really hard to bring the arts to Garden City, and the production of a fellow by the name of Broadway and Beyond by David Burnham was an outstanding concert last year. They had a person who actually played the Phantom on Phantom of the Opera. Community Concerts is another enrichment program here in Southwest Kansas that deserves our support and attention. Not necessarily financially from the board, but from as community leaders in participation and support of the arts. That's my report.
That is really true, Jerry, and I appreciate your comments on that. It's nice to see these types of events in Finney County, and I think we need to support them individually, obviously, but I appreciate you.
Will those events be posted on our webpage? Community web.
I don't know.
Yes, they can.
I would think, less and less people, no offense to local newspaper, less and less people read the paper, so.
I agree, and I think that we do need a community calendar. I'm kind of looking at options on that, but thanks for your input.
Well,
Do you
I have
have
yeah, I have it. I'll give it to Derek. They have one more concert, Divas of Soul, on Monday, April 27th, concludes their season this year, and then, of course, it'll begin. But I just want you to know that it's very hard to not pay $400 or $500 for a seat to see someone of Broadway caliber music. And you usually have to go to New York to find it. About once a month, you can go to Wichita, and you're going to pay quite a bit. And our community concert series are reasonable, and they are well-attended, but there was considerable room left still in Clifford Hope Auditorium at the old high school, which is now Horace Good Middle School, if I say it correctly. But I want you to know that it was a very, very fine concert. David Burnham was a great singer, but his pianist was world class, and it was.
And you should know.
I probably should.
Yeah.
But it was an enjoyable evening. A lot of people were there, and but advertising and getting the word out, Commissioner Jones, is really one of the things that maybe we can help do, and website is a way to do that. A great idea. That's my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Jones.
Since I was traveling quite a bit the last few weeks, I've missed the last commission meeting, but I was on the phone on our KLPG calls on Fridays. Interesting session in Topeka. So I encourage all of the commissioners to read the letter that KLPG President Marvin Matchett wrote to the governor. I think it's pretty well clarifies things. You know, it's not lowering property taxes. It's just adding more regulations and caps, and it would, I'm afraid to say, it would cost Dory's office a lot of work. And we don't need to do those kind of things. And there again, it's the Western Kansas legislators that can seem to find the correct way to do things. And we have a little trouble with our brethren in Eastern Kansas.
Commissioner, you're being very kind to the Senate. I can't tolerate 2745, and it's ironic that you have to approve Republican legislation, yet we're calling upon the governor to veto a bad bill.
I noted that on the call the other day. I said,
Thank God we have clearer minds here, correct?
well,
It's the altitude.
Is that all for you?
that's all, man.
Commissioner Basque?
You know, I don't know if it's proper for us to, I mean, I want to criticize, but is this the proper venue? I mean, of course it is. I'm just being sarcastic, but I'm just kind of wondering that if we as a board were several $1 million under or over our budget and our revenues were short every month to do that, if we should be telling other people how to conduct their business. I mean, because the state is basically having to cut their budget by $200 million over the next, because they're over budget and their revenue expectations are, they don't meet them each month, but yet they have the ability to tell the rest of us how to do our business. That's my sarcasm for the day. The only thing I had in the last 2 weeks is last Monday I did have the great honor to be asked to be a pallbearer for Carol Brown's funeral. For those that don't know, Carol Brown was a long-term county clerk for Finney County, and she was the county clerk when I first became sheriff, and so I got to work with her very closely. And in my law enforcement career and adult career, there was 2 people in my life that I revered professionally. One was Grover Craig, who hired me. He was my first sheriff that he hired me. I revered him. And in my mind, when I revere somebody, it's more than like or respect or appreciate. It's kind of that next highest step that you can get. So Grover was the first one that I revered. Carol was the second. I always just felt like amongst the 2 of them, even though I was elected sheriff for 25 years, that I was still just a kid in front of those 2 people. As I found out at Grover's funeral, I found out at Carol's funeral the other day too, is that both of them liked me more than what I thought that they did. I thought I was just a kid. So I had that honor of being a pallbearer for her at the request of her family. So I just wanted to mention that's the one activity that I had since the last meeting.
Thank you. Commissioner Utes.
I'll piggyback on the KLPG meeting. I know our state legislators don't like it when our federal legislators tell them what to do and how to do their business. And I think that I made it known to our Senator Clifford the same thing, and he understands that. One thing also, I don't know if you're aware, but House Bill 2495 regarding encampments in the riverbeds and enforcement has basically died. And it drew heavy opposition testimony. So I think, I don't know how things are going down the riverbed, but I think we need to revisit that in the future. I, along with Commissioner Basque, attended 2 meetings on the LAC Design Committee. It's going very well. The Sheriff's Department and the PD are both giving their information to the architect. I think, am I correct, Derek? We're hoping by August for CRMA on that.
Yep, late summer, I would is what we're shooting for.
I attended the chamber breakfast. I won't reiterate what Bob said on the GDP meeting. He said it best. I was also invited to the annual USD 457 Long Range Facilities Committee meeting, which was very interesting. It's always nice to get local folks in on the future expenditures and needs of the city. It gets some buy-in with that. Commissioner Basker and I also attended the Compensation Committee meeting. Very impressive with the McGrath Group. I think they're doing a very good job. Just stand by. I also attended several meetings on the town's review of water issue. I along with Fred Jones from the city and Callie Dyer with Livewell, met with the Homeowners Association. We discussed various options that are available for them on the water issues out there. They requested information on doing a feasibility study. Then followed up with a meeting with Livewell and KCC. KCC is also working with the current owners on the future of the water system. And then I met with Reuben Martin and homeowner out at Towns Review with Reuben Martin is with the Midwest Assistance Program System, also known as MAPS, federally funded program. And they will do a feasibility study on the water system out at towns at no cost to anybody. It'll be covered by the federal funding. On that note, though, I want to clear up some rumors that are going on on this water issue. One of the rumors is Finney County is forcing the homeowners to look at a rural water district. In fact, I want to make it clear that we as a commission do not have the authority to require that. Our role as a county is to make sure residents have accurate information, and that's what's being given, is accurate information, and understand their options, especially given the current system relies on private infrastructure, includes areas that may not meet today's standards. Doing nothing is an option for them, but it's important that everyone understands the potential risks that come with that, including long-term reliability and future costs. The decision out there is the will of the people. All we're doing is providing the information and what's available and resources that we can help provide them in making those decisions. That's all I have.
Thank you. A few things from me. I think I failed to mention after Tammy presented in public comment that we do appreciate her and the work that they do at Big Brothers Big Sisters. I'd also like to commend Larry Brungart. I got a compliment on him from Lance Rupp. I guess he contacted you for some cleanup for some pickup, I guess, after they did some cleanup in the river. And he said you were on it, very responsive. I appreciate that. You're doing great work. I'd like to mention to our audience, we are getting a little close to deadlines. If there's anyone who would like to file for public office, I think it would be good if people would do that. I know at least one of our commissioners has expressed that he's not going to file for re-election, so.
It's too, that'd be me.
Well, we know he needs to, but he keeps saying that he's not going to, so. And certainly, I think it's good for the public to be involved and for as many as can to be involved in the governance. There's a lot of things that are going on at state and national levels, and I think we need to be attuned to that, and we need to have responsible folks in public office at the local levels. I'd also like to make sure that everyone registers to vote. Make sure that you're registered before the deadline. I know our county clerk's office posts all of that, deadlines and everything. I happened to see a lot of that on Facebook just recently, so I think folks should do that. And once you're registered, go out there and vote. I know I was at a forum at the community college with some students, and we were discussing public service. And one of the things that was brought up was that there are so few people who show up to vote, and especially in primaries. And you know, if there's not anything like a presidential election, it seems like we don't get as many people out there voting. Everybody, as a citizen, has the right, if you're 18 or older, has the right to vote. And I think that we should all exercise that right. And one of the comments that was brought up was, well, you know, if you don't vote, then you don't have the right to complain. And I suppose that's true, although I have a little bit different perspective. And I think that there are a lot of people that simply don't vote because they are not informed. They don't know. They don't know how to get the information, don't really know who to vote for or what the issues are. And I mentioned to the students that there are opportunities in our community to find those things out. You know, we have multiple events, and I think we'll, now that we have our excellent communications department, I'm sure that we'll be putting all that information out there. There's a lot of forums and a lot of opportunities for people to get out there and get that information. So I would encourage people to try to inform yourselves. If you need help, I can tell you there are people who will help you to get that information. And I know our county clerk's an election office is more than happy to assist you and point you in the right direction. A couple of comments on the riverbed issue. That with that legislation failing to pass, Lance Rupp and I, who were the kind of the main champions on that, along with a couple of the members of our humanitarian efforts, we had a meeting that kind of put us all back on the same page. I guess there was a disconnect there where those of us who were championing the legislation didn't realize that the other side wasn't really on board with that until I was testifying and they were opposing. So, but I think that's good. And rather than say, well, forget it, then we're not going to help, I said, no, we're going to figure this out. We need to figure out why did you feel that way, and what can we do to move forward with this? Because we feel like we've started something that is a really important function, especially as our county continues to grow. And so we are working on some things that we hope will help. Their efforts are continuing as far as the humanitarian efforts. They've got some policies in place that they are continuing to help those folks who are in need. And I've talked to our administrator about some thoughts that we had for potentially ways that we could help from the county level. So we are looking into that, and I do want people to know that we, you know, we see both sides of it. And I want to make sure that we're taking care of all of the residents of Finney County and not this side or that side. I think that we can come up with solutions that work for everyone in our community to the best that we can. One other thing that has been brought to my attention is, you know, we all kind of have our coffee groups, and my husband has a particular coffee group, but they brought up a valid question, and Commissioner Jones mentioned it as well, that how do we find out about things that are happening? Like, we didn't know there was a rodeo. We didn't know there was, I don't know, some sort of a show going down at the, what do we call our building now? It's not the 3I, exhibition building.
Don't say that.
Say the 3I?
No, you get scolded.
I get scolded, yeah.
did.
I know, yeah. I you know, we're old and we have a hard time changing our terminology sometimes. But anyway, and I know that's a concern in our community. Like, people are like, I know there's a lot of things going on, and there are going to be a lot more things going on, because we have some exciting things happening. But anyway, I just wanted folks to know, I did visit with Lana Duvall. I know that the Garden City Journal used to kind of keep track of that, and they're not doing that any longer. But I do have it on my agenda to visit with our administrator and see if there's something that we can do at the county level, maybe to keep the public informed of all the exciting things that are happening in Finney County. So I just wanted to let people know that, and if anybody has any ideas or suggestions, be sure and let us know.
One more quick thing.
Yes, Commissioner Jones.
We have a dedication Wednesday?
Dedication?
Tomorrow. Is it?
No, Empirical is Wednesday, I thought.
Oh, Empirical.
Oh,
Okay.
that is the ribbon cutting.
Yeah, ribbon cutting.
It is tomorrow at 5 at Newman?
No, that's.
No, that's new, that's
That's a different one.
a different one.
That's the mobile,
Oh, yes, the
Agriculture.
refinery.
and our Senator Moran will be in town for that.
Oh, yes, 11 o'clock on Wednesday is the Empirical,
Yeah, you probably,
Senator Moran. I do have that on my calendar,
Well,
yeah.
let's kind of be clear. Tuesday, the 7th, is Newman at 5 o'clock,
Yes,
and Senator Moran will be there.
yes,
And on Wednesday, the 8th, Empirical is at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
Thank
Correct,
you,
correct.
Commissioner.
see, another thing we could have on a community calendar, couple things.
Thought you, maybe somebody would mention this, but.
I'm glad you
I
did.
look at my calendar, I go, well, better bring that up.
Yeah, I'm glad you
So-
did.
I think, yeah, you know, all the work we did on the Empirical thing, that we sure need to.
Yes, need to support that.
And that one's at 10,
Which one?
Empirical?
11 on Wednesday.
You should have gotten an email and an invitation.
I did for tomorrow's for Senator Moran's, but I didn't get one for, I don't-
Empirical, you didn't?
well,
You might have,
I may
it got
have
lost
just,
somewhere.
I
Okay.
can't emphasize enough, thank you for a brief update. We have a big vote coming in August. A lot of the comments that, well, primaries don't bring out the vote turnout. We have a huge vote in August. The legislature doesn't have the wisdom, the knowledge, or the veracity to put a constitutional issue on a general election. They put it on the primary. And the issue in the primary in August is whether our Supreme Court's for sale to the highest bidder, which is another way of saying whether we're gonna have partisan elections for Supreme Court justices. So that's the constitutional question. As you can tell, I have an opinion on it, but if you don't register to vote, you don't get to vote in the primary, and our Constitution may or may not be changed by less than 10 to 12% of the vote in Kansas. We can't allow that to happen. So get registered to vote.
Since we're on that topic, Dory, could you update us on the dates, deadlines? Do you have that in the top of your mind?
I don't have all of them in my mind, but I know generally. So the filing deadline to file for office is June 1st at noon. So if you do know somebody that would like to file for office, Our website has all of the information about the offices that are available this election, both state and county level. So if you know anybody who wants to be a township clerk, we need a bunch of them. So, as far as voter registration, that will probably end mid-July. It usually ends right before, I know there's some legislation we're waiting on, so, but it usually ends just right before the mail ballots go out, so around July 15th.
July 14th.
July 14th.
Thank you, Derek. Do you have any other specific questions about?
Anybody?
Well, I would ask if you could publish those deadlines on our calendar as soon as possible.
Yes, we can add those.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do appreciate all the comments this morning. I know that we're kind of running a little bit long with our comments, but I feel like they're important. I don't know that, you know, the viewing audience realizes that county government is an extension of the state government. So we do have a pretty significant voice, and I think that our comments are valid, and I think they're appropriate for us to make those comments. I think that's all that I have. We do have need for an executive session. Counselor?
Yes, we do. Excuse me. We need an executive session under KSA 754319B2 for falling under attorney-client privilege back to the SUP application process. We will need to include Trish Voth and Nick Keckley, both of Folston-Siefken, our outside counsel that's been helping us work through that process. We will need County Administrator Derek Ramos, Lana Duvall from Economic Development, Mackenzie Phillips, the Development Coordinator for the county, myself, and the board. I would ask that we set that for 1 hour. I am going to assume that we may want to take a brief recess prior to going into that. So
I would recommend
if we want to start our executive session at 10:20, that would give us a nice round number, I suppose.
Okay, so we would need a motion to include all of the people that Kara mentioned, and that would end at 11:20. Any motion?
I would like to move that we go into executive session at 10:20 for 1 hour to include all of the folks that Kara mentioned.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And that motion carries. Thanks, everybody, for being here this morning. 19:21. Do we have a motion to return from executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And that, I guess within our motion, we should state that there was no action taken.
Or the chair can affirm.
Or I can affirm it, which I will. And I don't believe we have anything else.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. And that carries. We are adjourned.
Thank you.